Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Nobody can answer that question definitively. Which jobs will be affected? Which small businesses will be affected? Which profit margins will be affected?
Bracing for tariff impact. How will maritime industries deal with no deal with the Americans?
Even though I was born legally blind, there was never really any question about whether I would play golf.
Par for the course. For the first time, New Brunswick hosts the Canadian Open Blind Golf Championships.
We're just trying to make it bigger and better every year for them.
And a trip to the X, the sights and sounds from the 110th Cape Breton Farmers Exhibition.
Lots of fog, along with patchy drizzle and showers for the Maritimes tonight.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Well, good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Bruce Frisco. Maria Panapalis is off tonight. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 this evening, tariff troubles. There is, of course, no deal on trade between Canada and the United States, and U.S. President Donald Trump's 50% tariffs on scores of Canadian imports have kicked in. So, where does that leave maritime businesses who rely on the U.S. market? CTV's Breanne Foley looked into that. She joins us now live with some answers. Bree.
Yes, Bruce. Concerns around the no deal on trade has left many in the Maritimes concerned about their futures, especially when it comes to job security and their bottom lines. The deal that almost was, isn't, meaning for the coming months, business sectors in the Maritimes are bracing for impact in what could be significant job losses.
Key industries affected in Nova Scotia include rubber, plastics, and wood products in New Brunswick. Key industries include wood products and paper manufacturing. Unfortunately, what this is going to mean is a loss of up to 1,800 jobs in Nova Scotia, up to 1,600 in New Brunswick, as the full impact of Donald Trump's tariffs take effect.
According to economist Colin Mang, Nova Scotia will see $280 million worth of exports impacted by the U.S. tariffs, and New Brunswick will see $260 million worth.
We won't have any immediate job losses because, of course, this seems to be day by day, at times hour by hour. But I think it is fair to say now with 338s, obviously a 50% tariffs on certain imports into the United States, certainly going to affect Atlantic Canada. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of when.
The maritime provinces are going to have to be more clever and savvy than they have ever been with respect to their economic and trade policy.
Some of those ways will include interprovincial trade.
So the message is, buy local, whether you're in Atlantic Canada, buy local, reach out to other provinces, get behind the Canadian flag and buy as much local as you possibly can. And that's both personal and in business. We are looking at the business in Atlantic Canada to do the same.
And looking to other trade partners needs to be top of mind.
The maritime provinces really do have to encourage the government of Canada to negotiate as many new trade arrangements as it can with other players, especially the European Union.
These American tariffs may not be in place forever. It's an administration that has had a very erratic trade policy over the past year and a half. These are here in the short term, but over the long term, Canada still has very good economic prospects.
A silver lining added by Professor Tom Urbanak is that he is seeing a higher level of patriotism and unity in the country, and he thinks that bodes well for Canada making it through a trade war intact and finding a sense of itself in the process.
Yeah,
Bruce?
Rare silver lining there. Thanks, Bree. CTV's Breanne Foley reporting live tonight from the News Center. Now we'll head over to Todd Battis with a whole lot more on Maritime Reaction.
Yes, you bet you, Bruce. We'll keep the theme rolling at 6 o'clock. Maritime premiers are now adding up the costs of this trade war. They're looking at how they might be able to help workers and businesses that you saw in Breanne's piece survive in the long term. All three say they support the Prime Minister's decision to end negotiations. We will hear from each of them tonight. Also, we'll take you to Campobello Island, where it has a long history, of course, of being very tight with the United States. It has no choice, separated only by that short bridge. You have to travel through the States to get to the island. Nick Moore went, and he found out what people are thinking. An apparent smash and grab at a local Costco in the region is part of a bigger problem, says one analyst, impacting not just retailers, but consumers too. In the newscast tonight, we'll hear about what happened in Halifax and where the police investigation is at this hour. That's in the newscast. Also coming up, Kaylin Mitchell will get in deep about the weather today, and it was pretty dramatic in some spots, and in fact,
still is, yep.
You're still tracking some severe weather.
That's right. So let's begin with that. We have a line of some training thunderstorms that is set up in the west of Nova Scotia, and what that means is that there are multiple thunderstorm cells moving over the same area in rapid succession, and that's going on right now, basically in a location extending from the interior of Queens County, then extending up towards Kings County, so northern parts of the Annapolis Valley. Then it crosses the Minas Basin and heads over towards parts of Cumberland and Colchester counties. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in the surrounding area that also extends up into western Prince Edward Island. Conditions are still right for thunderstorms to develop, but then we have a more localized severe thunderstorm warning within that, and let's take a closer look at that on radar. So these storms are beginning in the vicinity of about Caledonia and then extending up past the Crossburn area and then towards locations like Kentville and Wolfville before crossing up towards Parsboro and Amherst. And look at the several thunderstorm cells along that line. So location like Parsboro, not only do you get through the first little quick downpour, but there could be 1, 2, 3, 4 more to come in after that, and then that means the rain could add up with those successive thunderstorms, producing things like localized flooding and risk of hydroplaning conditions on the roads. And that's going to be active over the next couple of hours. It's very warm. It's been very humid with this weather system. There's more to talk about it as we head into this evening and tonight. So I'll have an update when I'm back a little bit later on, Bruce.
Right you are. Thank you, Kaylin. Well, for nearly 70 years, it's been a tradition on Prince Edward Island, the Gold Cup and Saucer Harness Race. Every summer, it draws thousands of watchers and bettors, speculators. This year was particularly special for a horse trainer who finally brought it home. CTV's Maria Sarah has that story.
27. As horses charge around the bend, drivers in two-wheeled carts steer through the pack. On the inside. But before the racing got underway, Sugarman took a few training laps far from the crowd. At the reins, PEI-born trainer Mark McKinnon, back home after building his career in Ontario.
It's been a childhood dream of mine for a very long time, and to be this close and definitely starting to sink in a little bit.
Inside the barn, McKinnon readied his second horse, 5th and 5. The pair, he says, are favorites for the finale.
I couldn't be happier with how both horses are going into the race.
At the track, anticipation was building by the hour. Race 7 is rolling behind me, and along the rail, fans are settling in for the $100,000 Gold Cup and Saucer, set for well after dark.
Moonrider, baby! Let's go!
And at the wagering booth, fans put money behind their picks.
I'm betting on Freight Air. Horse number 8, bet on this guy.
Some came from across the country. Where are you from?
I'm from Alberta.
My husband and I, we were doing a few times, and it was so just breathtaking and just relaxing.
We're horse people, and we're looking to see what it's all about.
Whatever the result, McKinnon's journey has come full circle.
It's meant the world still. Like you say, win or lose, it's been an amazing experience.
While the cup goes to one horse, the night belongs to the island, a tradition that spans generations with no finish line in sight. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Speaking of horses, are you ready to rodeo? We've got a brand new contest to tell you about tonight. Cape Breton Pro Rodeo is charging into Center 200 this fall, and CTV wants you to take in all the action. So Cape Breton Pro Rodeo is a fusion of sport, live entertainment, and East Coast celebration. There will be traditional rodeo action and great music with performances by Sam Roberts Band, High Valley, Alan Doyle, and more. One lucky winner will win 4 full package tickets to the Cape Breton Pro Rodeo, 3 nights at the Simon Hotel Sydney, and a $500 Coldstream gift card. You can enter by using the QR code right there on your screen or go to ctvatlantic.ca. Don't miss out on your chance to saddle up for fun. Stay with us. CTV News at 5. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, the 6th annual Black Lives Matter Emancipation Day race brought dozens of people to Cherrybrook, Nova Scotia over the weekend. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, the event was created to promote racial and physical wellness.
The vibes are great. They started off stretching and music, and it was just great. The pit stops were, vibes were great. They kept you going. So yeah, it was really good. It was a great 5K.
Dance across the finish line.
The annual Black Lives Matter Emancipation race returned to Cherrybrook for its 6th year.
So this year we had 242 participants that registered, and on top of that, more people that showed up asking if they can participate.
The event brings community together to promote physical and racial wellness.
I found that it was really important for BLM in this together to have the run focus within this community, to try to let people know that, for one, this community, Cherrybrook, Lake Loon, is one of the smallest African Nova Scotian communities of the Preston Township, and to kind of bring it back alive, if you will.
Whether they were running, walking, or dancing, it was a time for the community to enjoy each other's company.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm from Guysborough, which is 3 hours away from here, but love the Black Culture Center, love the people who live here, love Cherrybrook, so it's great to be here for today.
I just like running outside. It's like really fun, and it's a nice hot day, and it's nice and fun to just join the community in like a 5-kilometer walk.
And seeing all kinds of people like happy and all that, just having like a good time and all that.
Over the years, the event expanded to include a vendor's market, wellness activities, and more. But the race is a fan favorite.
Everybody is showing up at this race and ensuring that they're fighting for anti-Black racism.
And doing so one step at a time. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Cherrybrook, Nova Scotia.
Always a great event there.
Yeah, it looks like everybody was having a great time. Events this past weekend. Saturday was the day to have them because, of course, conditions turned on us on Sunday.
Yeah.
We got into this weather system that has brought in everything from thunderstorms to over 100 millimeters of rain for parts of Cape Breton. We're still contending with it as we're moving through this evening, and I will have an update coming up after the break.
There's Guinness World Records for stroller runs, and so that kind of sent me down a rabbit hole.
So a quick update now to a story we brought you back in March. Julia Reed Howell says she's now received word that her Guinness World Record attempt for the fastest pushing a single pram has in fact been ratified by Guinness World Records. Completed at Base Gagetown Fitness Facility in the indoor track there, Julia, you may remember, was pushing her daughter Winnie, who was 17 months old at the time. In a Facebook post, Julia encouraged anyone who has a silly idea to chase it, because you never know, you just could wind up in the record books there. So congratulations to her.
Winnie had a need for speed, and Julia was doing the work.
Delivered.
That's right, exactly. Well, let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times, and for that we're going to go to gray skies over the FDR Bridge connecting Campobello to the state of Maine, and that cloud cover is part and parcel of the same weather system that we have been contending with since Sunday, which has brought us a very soupy feel to the air around the Maritime, stifling levels of humidity at times. Some very heavy rain in some locations, especially Cape Breton, where some personal weather stations reported some amounts over 100 millimeters, and still some active thunderstorms, and we're keeping track of those because there is a line of some severe thunderstorms, and a warning has been issued for these running up across the west of Nova Scotia. Let's take a closer look on radar. So it begins around the Caledonia area, but these thunderstorms are training. That means that you could have multiple thunderstorms that move over the same location within quick succession, within about an hour or two, and they could still be packing downpours because of the high level of humidity in the air. So it starts around Caledonia, and then that line moves up towards Kings County in Nova Scotia, including the vicinity of Kentville and Berwick. Of course, if you're driving through any of the roadways that are crossing through that line, expect to run into downpours and hydroplaning conditions. Moving up into Cumberland County, the exit point for that line of thunderstorms looks like it's in the vicinity of Amherst, but now that warning just extended into southeastern areas of New Brunswick. They're moving these thunderstorms up towards the northeast at about 55 kilometers per hour. But the concern again is that there are multiple thunderstorms that could move over the same location, each of them bringing a downpour, and it increases the risk of things such as localized flooding. I do expect that to be active in that area that we just looked at over at least the next couple of hours. This is part of an extended weather front that is stretching right now all the way from Atlantic Canada down into the southeastern United States. And ahead of that front, there was a strong pull of moisture off of the subtropical Atlantic. That's why we did have that very muggy feel to the air, and it's why we've got this higher risk of downpours and pockets of heavier rain, because there's a lot of moisture for that type of weather to work with right now in the region. So as we take a look at our forecast timeline for cloud cover and precipitation, like I mentioned, that line of thunderstorms across the west of Nova Scotia now extending towards the southeast New Brunswick around for the next couple of hours. Other areas tonight that need to be careful about more rain include parts of Cape Breton that, as I mentioned earlier, have already picked up some totals in excess of 50, 60, 70, 80, even 100 millimeters. So there's potential for some more rain in Cape Breton tonight. The other thing that'll be happening around the Maritimes is that mugginess in the air is going to be taking another form, and that is going to be some thick fog. So visibility will be reduced at times. We're out there on the roads for both tonight and first thing tomorrow morning. Now the visibility will improve as we go from the morning into the afternoon. The sun breaks through tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be very warm and muggy, and with a chance of pop-up showers for tomorrow will come a risk of some further pop-up thunderstorms. And that's because a little bit of cooler, drier air is moving in aloft of that warm and muggy air, and it creates that unstable atmosphere. So the risk of thunderstorms coming up Tuesday, highest for northern and western areas of New Brunswick and interior areas of mainland Nova Scotia. Tonight, fairly warm for the Maritime region. Most of the lows around the mid to high teens, low to mid-teens for northwestern areas of New Brunswick, and then most of the high temperatures on Tuesday, mid-20s, but feeling close to 30 with the humidity in the air. Let's take a look at our Weather Watcher for tonight. Tonight's Weather Watcher is coming in from 9-year-old Ezra from Park Academic, and Ezra has sent us a drawing of visiting Toronto, and this is the city at night. Thank you, Ezra. It's a great drawing, and we'll go over to Bruce.
Thank you, Kalen. Well, one of the longest-running farmers' exhibitions in the country wrapped up in style in Cape Breton over the weekend. CTV's Ryan McDonald has the sights and sounds from the crowds to the rides, of course, the animals.
It was the 110th year for the Cape Breton Farmers Exhibition in North Sydney. To put that into perspective, during the X's first summer here, Alexander Graham Bell was still living down the highway in Bedeck.
It's kind of been like my thing my whole life. I was put on a horse for the first time when I was 12 hours old.
15-year-old Carly Peters has had her horse Val since she was 3. Together, they have been coming here to the X for as long as she can remember.
I like how many people come every year, and the crowds are just better because everybody's cheering for you. They make the horses hyper, and the horses just want to do their job more.
Yeah, I have 2 horses here.
10-year-old Ava Wainman has been coming to the exhibition since she was a toddler. She's here for the competition side of things.
I just like racing. It's my favorite hobby I do, and I've done it for 8 years.
Well, 5 years ago, we were in serious danger of losing this facility.
The X didn't make it to 110 years without running into a few challenges along the way. Nothing that couldn't be overcome, though, and now organizers say they may have set a new attendance record for a single day this past Friday. And the hope was they might have more than 20,000 people through the gates total for this year by the end of the weekend.
There's always a feeling of nostalgia when people come to this place. They come home from away, they meet their friends. This is always a meeting place, and we're just trying to make it bigger and better every year for them.
We started coming over here back in the 50s and early 60s. My father used to come over with his milk cows.
For Junior Paninsky, that nostalgia that others talked about is also a family tradition. Now he is here with his granddaughter and her horse.
Means a lot. Means a lot coming back. Hopefully she'll get her child. Maybe another generation coming back.
So while the X in North Sydney is now over for another year, the hope is that this summer staple will continue for many more to come. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, North Sydney.
Thank you, Ryan. Gotta love exhibition season. Coming up next, we'll go from the barn to the golf course.
I'm Avery McRae at the Hillsborough Golf Club, where today the country's top blind golfers are taking on the course, marking what is believed to be a first-time tournament of its type in New Brunswick. We will take you to the course, so keep it here on CTV News at 5.
Welcome back. Well, being blind, of course, can present many challenges in life, but it does not mean that things are impossible. As CTV's Avery McRae shows us tonight, the country's top visually impaired golfers are in New Brunswick, proving that you don't need to see the shot to fire a low score.
The sport of blind golf has been played around the country, but today marks the first time an official tournament has come to New Brunswick.
Our goal was to try to reach out to other provinces, and the best way to do that seemed to be to hold our national championship in a province where we didn't have any representation.
Hosted by the Hillsborough Golf Club, 20 golfers ranging with just 10% vision to completely blind athletes took to the links for the opening day of the ISPS Honda Canadian Open Blind Golf. That includes Darren Duma, who made the trip all the way from British Columbia to tee it up.
Despite our disabilities, we all get together and get to showcase ourselves in blind golf.
The sport itself is no different than regular golf, with the lowest number of strokes being crowned the winner. The only difference is each player has a guide or coach to help them line up that perfect shot.
The most important thing, of course, after they hit the shot is to find the ball again, because I would lose a lot of balls if I played my own way around.
Kevin Lemon has been guiding golfers around the course for nearly 2 decades, and when asked his favorite part of it all,
the friendships and the companionship that comes out of it has been fantastic. It's nice to be able to experience the friendships and lifelong times together.
It also offers a supportive sport for those visually impaired to be around people with similar experiences.
For a lot of our members, they may have lost their vision or later in life, and they find out that there's blind golf, and they realize that with a couple of modifications, they can go back to playing something that meant a lot to them.
And proof that a disability doesn't have to hold you back.
Yep. Oh, nice.
Avery McRae, CTV News, Hillsborough, New Brunswick.
I have always admired the blind golfers. That's quite a skill there, I'll tell you.
Hasn't exactly been great golfing weather last 24 hours here in the Maritimes, but coming up at 6, we'll talk about when some nice golfing conditions might return to the region.
We'll watch for that. In the meantime, the news continues with The National.